Located in the Horn of Africa, Ethiopia is the most populous landlocked country in the world. Some of the oldest human bone relics and stone tools have been found here. It is widely considered as the region from which Homo sapiens first set out for Eurasia about 100,000 years ago. The lower Omo Valley is still inhabited by some of the most ancient tribes on the planet. Stone Age Ethiopia was the original homeland of the Proto-Afro-Asiatic language, which gave rise to ancient tongues such as Ancient Egyptian, Biblical Hebrew, and Old Aramaic. Proto-Afro-Asiatic, sometimes referred to as Enochian, is believed to have been spoken in Ethiopia between 16,000 and 10,000 BCE. The term Enochian comes from John Dee's assertion that the biblical patriarch Enoch had been the last to know the language. The Amharic alphabet, derived from the Enochian, is still being used in Ethiopia in the 21st century. Ethiopia has close historical ties with all three of the world's major Abrahamic religions, while preserving ancestral beliefs and practices known as Buddha witchcraft. In Ethiopia, crosses are often combined or fused with Solomon seals, pentagrams, and swastikas. Cush is traditionally considered the ancestor of the Cushite people, namely the Ethiopians. He was the oldest son of Ham and a grandson of Noah. Cush had a grandson named Sheba, who inherited his kingdom. That's why Ethiopia came to be called the land of Cush or Sheba. In Ethiopian mythology, the Horn of Africa was ruled from 1400 to 1000 BCE by a dynasty of tyrannical serpent kings who demanded human and animal sacrifice. King Arwe, the last serpent king, was killed by a warrior whose daughter Makeda became the first Ethiopian queen. Giant blind snakes and puff adders are still considered Ethiopia's most iconic animals to this day. The Ethiopian national saga called Keber Nagast contains an account on how Queen Makeda from Sheba met King Solomon and had a son named Menelik from him. The Queen of Sheba raised Menelik as a Jew in Ethiopia, and he was crowned king upon her death. Solomon sent many Israelites to Menelik to aid him in ruling according to biblical standards. King Solomon also gave him the Ark of the Covenant to legitimize the Solomonic dynasty which ruled Ethiopia for close to 3,000 years. The Ark of the Covenant was the most sacred relic of the Israelites. It consisted of a gold-covered wooden chest containing the 2 stone tablets of the 10 Commandments, plus Aaron's rod and a pot of manna. The Ethiopian Orthodox Church claims to possess the Ark of the Covenant and to keep it on the guard in a treasury near the Church of Our Lady Mary of Zion in the northern Ethiopian city of Axum. The ancient Greeks called the Cushite people Ethiopis, meaning sunburned faces, from which the English Ethiopians is derived. One of the greatest kings of Ethiopia was Aphilas, who lived in the 3rd century AD and created a very advanced currency system. However, his fame was eclipsed by his great-grandson Ras Ezana. The Ethiopian term Ras means leader or king. Ezana is known as the first Ethiopian monarch to have embraced Christianity in 333 AD. He erected several mysterious obelisks and engraved a stone in 3 languages, namely Ancient Ethiopian, Arabic, and Greek. He sparked the legend of Prester John or Prester John, a distortion of the name Ras Ezana. From the 12th through the 17th centuries, Europeans believed Prester John to be a great Christian king amid the pagans and Muslims of Eastern Africa. When ambassadors from Ethiopia were sent to Portugal and Italy in the 15th and 16th centuries, they explained that only several hundred years before had any such priestly king ruled over their country. And yet, when it came to the Horn of Africa, Prester John seemed to be all that Europeans could think of. Over the centuries, Cushite people built several shrines and monasteries, some perched on hilltops, others hewn into the rock, often filled with colorful paintings reminiscent of Tibetan tankas. The main Ethiopian festival is called Meskel and includes the burning of a large bonfire. Celebrated in late September, it is comparable to the autumn equinox observed by European pagans and the mid-autumn festivals held in Asia. Ethiopian priests and hermits usually wear white, orange, or yellow robes, like Jain, Hindu, or Buddhist monks. The Asian influence on Ethiopian culture mainly derived from contact with Chinese explorers who had visited the Horn of Africa since time immemorial, in particular Admiral Zheng He's expeditions in the early 15th century. The world's first illustrated Christian Bibles were created in Ethiopian monasteries. Emperor Fazil, who reigned from 1632 to 1667, had bridges and churches built throughout the country. He is also credited with the foundation of the city of Ghandar and the construction of its famous castle. Haile Selassie was the last emperor of Ethiopia and ruled from 1930 to 1947, even while Mussolini occupied the country from 1936 to 1941. Haile Selassie's honorific name was Rastafari, meaning King Awesome. A number of Jamaican Christian clergymen soon claimed that Selassie's coronation was evidence that he was a black messiah, and it wasn't long before the Rastafari movement was founded. Its main concern is the enslavement and oppression brought about by Babylon, that is to say, Western society. Rasta practitioners worship a singular god called Jah, short for Jehovah, and consider Africa as their promised land, usually referred to as Zion. Prior to 1996, the royal flag featured the emblem of a Lion of Judah, portrayed as a crowned lion carrying a cross. The modern national flag of Ethiopia is a green, gold, and red tricolor with a pentagram at the center. Upon gaining independence from colonial rule, several newly established countries in Africa adopted green, gold, and red in homage to Ethiopia's resistance against foreign occupation.